It's the Afro Mauler here, and man, 2026 is turning out to be an absolutely massive year for gaming. We've seen surprise indie critical darlings, the return of legendary survival horror, and massive open world racers completely dominating review scores. Today, I want to talk about Metacritic and the games that are currently sitting at the top of the list for the best reviewed games so far of 2026. But that's not all. We are officially halfway through the year, guys, so I wanted to dive into some major wildcards that I think could completely shake things up. We're talking early game of the year contenders. Who is actually going to take the crown for 2026? Let's get into it. Number one, I want to talk about Mina the Hollower. Now, unseating the biggest AAA games of the year, our current number one spot belongs to an indie masterpiece, Mina the Hollower, from Yacht Club Games. If you love Shovel Knight, you already know this team completely understands retro design. With Mina, they're going an entirely different route. It channels classic top-down Game Boy Color Zelda vibes, but mirrors them directly to a dark, tense, punishing mechanics of a Souls-like game. Will Mina win Game of the Year? I don't think so. I think it's a bit too indie, maybe a little too retro, and probably not just enough, big time for, the mega critics to really appreciate it. How about we move on to Forza Horizon 6? Forza Horizon 6, do I think it's awesome? Yes, I absolutely do, and Metacritic agrees. Finally, Playgrounds has taken the Festival of Japan, which is where we have wanted to go forever, and it's a flawless celebration of car culture. Now, it doesn't radically rewrite the Horizon formula, but you honestly didn't need to. The map is beautiful, perfectly balancing that tight neon-drenched urban of Tokyo with sweeping vertical mountain passes. It's perfect for drifting. It's perfect for drifting, which I'm absolutely terrible at. You know, I just suck at it. And the technical presentation is flawless, though, pushing modern hardware to the absolute limit. You guys really got to check it out. Do I think Forza is going to win Game of the Year? Nah, man, I don't think a racing game has, ever won Game of the Year. But if a racing game can win Game of the Year, Forza Horizon 6 might just do it. Number 3, Pokemon Pocopia. So, this is a massive departure from the standard mainline entries. Imagine Animal Crossing or Breath of the Wild, cozy setting, mixed up. You play as a lone Ditto waking up in a desolate world where the humans are just gone. It's a little weird. The core gameplay loop revolves around copying the moves and shapes of your fellow Pokemon to terraform the land, build a thriving utopia from scratch, and restore nature. And it's really awesome. It's got great charm, a polished crafting system, genuine creativity using Pokemon attacks as surviving and building stuff rather than just battling. Nice touch. I don't know, guys. It's a cozy city builder game. So I don't think it could take Game of the Year, but it's Nintendo and it's Pokemon, so you really never know. I think it is. If I had to say it's the biggest wild card, I'd say Pocopia is the biggest wild card, but I still don't think it'll take it. I think the next choice may. Resident Evil Requiem. Sharing an 89 spot on Metacritic. Resident Evil Requiem, just Capcom did something brilliant here by splitting the game into two massive, distinct campaigns that satisfy both eras of the franchise. You've got Grey Shaftcroft focusing heavily on that old-school psychological horror, puzzle solving, tight inventory management. On the other side, you got Leon S. Kennedy kicking all the butt, punching all the boulders. Okay, that might be the wrong game. But you know what? It's got both sides of the coin, and it marries them really well in a beautiful, atmospheric, and tense package. Do I think it's going to be Game of the Year? Actually, yeah. If I had to pick the front runner, I'd say Resident Evil Requiem is my current front runner for Game of the Year. Something else I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Let's move on to number 5. Eugenics. Coming in at 88 on Metacritic is Mugenics. Guys, let's talk about Mugenics. This is the long-awaited project from Edward McMillan, the chaotic mind behind The Binding of Isaac, and we all know I love my rogue runs. Now, this turn-based legacy roguelike draft sim game is just insane. You hoard, breed, and train an army of highly mutated cats before sending them out to, compete tactical chaos. The depth is staggering. But it's just not for me. I think strategy roguelites just don't hit my spot. So I'm not personally probably going to play Mugenics. But, and I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year. It's way too indie, way too niche. It's just not going to happen. Let's go to the next game, though. Let's talk about Sorrows, actually. It's pronounced Sorrows. Coming out of the top here, Sorrows is a slick, fast-paced, third-person game, and it's essentially the evolution of what Housemarque started with Returnal, which I have played, and I do like. It moves the action to an eerie planet under the shadow of a permanent eclipse. As you navigate it, the world shifts around you. Every single death permanently alters the environment. It's a little more accessible, but still tight, tough, and a hard game. Personally, I don't know if I'm going to play much of Sorrows. Probably not. I don't really play a lot of PlayStation games. Do I think it's going to be Game of the Year once again? I think it's just a little too niche to take the whole cake. Next up, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. This thing is just, wow. It's a great game. We have to talk about Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Telltale Games finally dropped this one, and let me tell you, it is completely saving the Lego franchise. Throughout the old semi-repetitive formula, completely built this thing in a different way. It takes inspiration from Arkham and every facet of Batman, from the comics to television to the movies, and marries them all together. It takes it all apart and it builds a Lego game. It's insane. It builds a Lego game, and it's great. Do I think it can win Game of the Year? Maybe Best Family Game of the Year, but I don't know that it could take overall Game of the Year. My biggest problem with the game that I'm having that I think will keep it away from Game of the Year. It forces you too much into the levels, and I don't think it really... It gives you the open world, says here it is, have at it, but doesn't really make it like a focus. So I don't think it's going to get Game of the Year, but I think it will come close. So what are the wild cards? I want to talk about some wild cards. I want to talk about 007 First Light. Man, IO Interactive, coming off of Hitman Trilogy, dropped the highly anticipated James Bond origin story, and man, it delivers. It takes that flawless sandbox social stealth gameplay they mastered with 47 and infuses it with high-octane MI6 gadgetry, cinematic car chases, and much more aggressive, brutal hand-to-hand combat. You're playing a younger, hungrier James Bond, earning his 00 status. Now, the level design here is, just the usual stuff that we've seen out of IO. Sneaking through luxury casinos, alpine fortresses, high-tech underground facilities. I mean, we've seen them do all this stuff in Hitman. Now we're seeing them do it with James Bond. Do I think it can take Game of the Year? This is the other game I think that could do it. I honestly think that this game could take it. I don't know that I'd put it up there with Bond. I don't know that I'd put it up there with Requiem. I think Requiem having a little more time in the first half of the year to shine might, but 007 coming in hot near the middle here. I don't know, man. 2026. Number 9, Mouse PI for Hire. I'm not going to stay long here. It's just, you know what? I think this game looked great, caught everybody's eye, got a lot of visual attention, but I don't think it's going to go Game of the Year. Once again, shooters are too niche, and they almost never take the prize. Number 10 on my list, Crimson Desert. Another beautiful game that will take your breath away. It is a massive open-world action RPG that has been turning heads all year long. It delivers a rough-and-tumble, highly grounded medieval fantasy world with some of the most complex combat that will make you forget exactly how the controls work because they're a little too complex and the story isn't quite there. I think the open world is beautiful, but I think the lack of intuitive combat and the lack of great story will hold Crimson Desert back. Pragmata. We have Capcom's enigmatic sci-fi project Pragmata. After years and years of mysterious teasers, the game is finally out in the wild, and it is a fascinating, reality-bending trip. The narrative is really great, blending intense third-person shooting with heavy environmental puzzle solving on a highly advanced lunar colony. Now, they're saying this is a mandatory must-play sci-fi experience. I don't really know if I'm going to get to Pragmata, because I only have so much time. It looks a little too out there for me. I think that, man, Capcom having 2 games so far this year, and I haven't even talked about Monster Hunter. But I feel almost like Capcom's competing with themselves. And guys, there's one more game. One more game that is coming out in 2026. And of course, standing right at the finish line, the last game that could easily take Game of the Year, Grand Theft Auto 6. Look, man, this is the elephant in the room that is completely resetting the boundaries of the entire industry. To say this game is a cultural event, it is an absolute understatement. Look, guys, other developers are moving their games out of the month of November and December. They are so worried about Grand Theft Auto 6 becoming the best-selling game of all time. It almost doesn't really matter what Rockstar does. If they get this game across the finish line and actually out the door before the vote goes in on Best Game of 2026, Rockstar could absolutely take the cake. It's crazy. Who's going to win? Do I think GTA 6 takes the crown? Man, I don't know. We got Pragmata. We've got Resident Evil. I think Lego Batman, Dark Horse. I want to throw Forza in there. If I had to pick one today that I think could take it, I think Requiem might. I think it did enough. I don't know, man. Whether you're looking for a dark superhero challenge like Lego Batman, just an immaculate retro ride like Minna, a massive open world like Crimson Desert, GTA 6, it doesn't matter, man. 2026 is a great time to be a gamer. I want you guys to pop on down. Pick what do you think's going to take Game of the Year 2026? It is only June, guys. It's only June. Hey, it's been the Afro Mauler. Thanks for watching. Peace. And I'm out.